here's a copy of it right here. As you can see, there's 5 easy steps that you can go through to get your brain moving and thinking about possible topics for your paper. But before we begin, before we dive into that, I want to kind of get you into the mindset of just being curious. Our world is so fascinating. There are so many things to learn and see and do, and I want you to get into that mode of curiosity. And when you see something, whether it's on the news or something that you see on your Facebook or something that comes up in your email inbox or something that happens to you personally, I want you to start thinking about why. Why is this happening? Is there a reason for this happening? Um, what are the underlying issues? Follow the money. Like, why is there a reason why this is happening as a result of money? So, um, so if we look at step number one, it's brainstorm for 5 minutes about things that you already know something about, but you would like to know more about. And so, for example, if I were doing this activity, there are a couple of things that I would jot down right away. For example, I'm a reading specialist, so I know a lot about literacy. And when you think about literacy, obviously there are a lot of questions that come to mind. I mean, why do some people never learn how to read? Why is it difficult for some people to learn how to read? Why are some schools better at teaching students how to read than other ones? Why does the Rochester City School District have such a low graduation rate for their high school students? And there's a whole rich vein of topics that you could explore for a paper there. Another interest of mine as a parent is childhood obesity. So I don't know tons about childhood obesity, but it makes me think of different questions such as um, why is childhood obesity on the rise? What are some of the reasons behind that? Are there ways that we could help curb that? How does childhood obesity um, play into adulthood obesity? Are there ways of treating childhood obesity? Are those ways different or similar to the ways that we treat adult obesity? So there's a whole nother rich vein of um, topics that you could research and explore on a paper there, just based on what you already know. Now, if you're floundering a little bit and you're feeling like, okay, I don't really know where to start, you can go to our friend Google and check out what's happening in the news. What are some things that are going on that might pique your interest? For example, just looking at this page, I'm seeing King's Dream Not Yet Realized, says March on Washington speaker. Okay, so this dream of racial equality is still elusive for us. We're still struggling with racism years later after King's death and after the Civil War. So, what are some racial issues that you could talk about? Racial issues in education, in employment, in the health field, um, and and talk about some of those things now. Let's see if we look at down to health. What are some of the issues that might be happening in health? Okay, we've got some things on BMI. That's again talking about obesity. We have here over 100 apply for a Massachusetts medical marijuana permit. Okay, there's an interesting topic right there. What is the permit process like? I'm thinking, what are the pros and cons of offering medical marijuana? What are the potential problems? What are some recommendations that we could make um, as nurses that could um, ease this transition? Let's see, what else do we have? If we scroll down here a little bit, we have West Nile virus, the dengue fever. I saw something about Hep A before. That brings to mind, just for me, the question of vaccinations. What are the purpose of vaccinations? Are we not vaccinating enough? Are we vaccinating too much? For diseases like chickenpox that aren't necessarily killers, what should be the guidelines for vaccinations? How does it feed into the whole drug industry. There's a lot of interesting issues there. Shrinking Arctic ice will lead to ice-free summers. Okay, so what are some signs of global warming happening? What are the effects of global warming? Is there anything that we can do about global warming? Should we be trying to stop it? Should we not be trying to stop it? What are some of the issues that are going on there? Um, I also know that a huge topic in science right now is fracking. Um, what is fracking? Can it be used without causing groundwater contamination? Um, is it something that we should be doing or we should not be doing? Let's see if we look under spotlight. We have I don't know if you can see it, but down at the bottom, um, human trafficking. Are prostitutes criminals? Or are they victims of abuse? How has the Safe Harbor Act changed anything for anyone? Has it made things better? Has it made things worse? One of the articles that I saw at the bottom are basically in a community that they feel like cares about them and they're attracted to the money, and it's something that they feel compelled to do or kind of trapped into doing. So there's a whole another issue there. So let's go back to our brainstorming topic. So for question number 2, you're kind of making a list of things which you don't know much about, which you would like to learn more about. And for me, just going through that Google News gave me a really nice list of things that I might like to explore, which I don't know a whole lot about, but would be fascinating topics to study. So after you do that, I want you to look at both of the lists that you made and think about the one item that really seems alive for you and piques your curiosity more than the other ones. And start thinking about some questions that you could explore. Think of yourself as an investigative news reporter about the item that you chose. What's the how, why, and what of your topic? And then you can do some preliminary research on that topic to see, is there enough research and evidence out there that would sustain you pursuing this as a topic for your paper. So the other thing that I would encourage you to do once you're finished doing some preliminary research and picking a topic that you feel like is a winner for you, if you haven't already done so, arrange for an orientation to the university's library and how to use their database systems. This will save you time because next week you're going to really be plowing into the research hard and heavy. So we're going, if you already know how to use the systems this week, you've taken the time to get familiar with that. Next week's research project will be a lot easier for you. Okay, thanks for listening and good luck with your brainstorming assignment.